to reconvene the budget hearings. Everybody will rise. I'll bless it. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time to be together to do the work of the Cherokee people. We pray that you will bless these meetings and that you will bless the dollars as we send them out into our communities to serve the people that we serve. We pray that you will help us to make wise decisions today. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Do we need to do another roll call or just? Let's just go ahead and go on into it if we don't.
Good.
You want to or not? Okay. Okay, we're going to do another roll call. Go, Shelley.
James Taylor.
Here.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Bill England.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Kelly Buzzard.
Here.
Joe Byrd. Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
John Garvin.
Honey.
Frankie Hargis.
Present.
Wanda Hatfield.
Honey.
Rex Jordan. Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell. David Thornton. Victoria Vesquez.
Honey.
David Walkingstick. Brian Warner.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
Okay. We left off, we're ready to pick up with career services, and I see Diane is here, ready to answer any questions. So do you want to speak to any changes that may have come about?
Well, we have a grant that's called the Job-Driven National Emergency Grant. It comes to an end September the 30th, and we will not be carrying it over. There is monies that was put into a training account that will actually go over to pay out expenses for students that are in that. But other than that, that one will be closed out, and we'll probably have a review by the Department of Labor this fall. And then we have the sector partnership that kind of took its place, that's been ongoing for a year, and it will run up through June 30th of next year. And given the amount of money that we got for that grant, more than likely we will ask for an extension, which will probably run us up through December of next year. So other than that, that's it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Diane? Wanda?
The Coming Home Reentry Pilot, is that with the, what's that have to do with?
What did you say?
The Coming Home Reentry Pilot, is that, what is that?
That's the reentry program that is operated by Darrell Legg. That is the people that are coming out of incarceration that are coming home. And we assist those people with
Okay.
jobs training.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
My neighbor.
Hi.
Yeah. Pretty good bridge down there by us, ain't they?
Yes, I love that bridge.
Diane, on that day training? Yeah. Yeah. That goes fast, don't it?
Yes, it does.
The more the merrier on the money someday, right? On that day training. Leave
Well,
some money
right
in.
now, we're probably going to hold off on actually opening the portals until probably around November, which will be right around the holiday season. We usually have a lot more people that are out of work after it starts getting cold, and we'll probably, open the portals then. We'll have a few emergencies. Right now, our C&B day training program is ongoing. It always has been. And we work very closely with Bob and Vivian on the number that we place out at their facilities.
That's a good program.
Thank you. We've had some really good placements come out of it.
Thank you.
Excellent program.
Welcome. Anything else for Diane? All right. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So the next one is the Housing Authority. I saw Gary here earlier. Is he here now?
Did you get him come in?
Let me skip on down to the Tax Commission.
No.
Not wholeheartedly. Well, we can do that. Coming back at it. Should stay first. Yeah.
As far as the tax commission goes, we pretty much got a flat budget. We have no new additions of employees or anything. Our major increases in our revenue for our expanded jurisdictional area and our at-large. I'll try to answer any questions that you might have.
Anybody have any questions for Sharon? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Go, Counselor Lane.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I haven't told you lately, we need a tag office and no one else, Copan,
And
or
I didn't get that in here.
I'm just putting my 2 cents in.
Okay.
Over here. Go, walking stick.
The hunting and fishing licenses,
Yes, sir.
we budgeted like extra 100,000. Is that, so that's gonna take the weight off of you where you're not having to mess that anymore?
Yes, sir. That has gone to the Secretary of Natural Resources, and they have a full-time employee, and that increase was basically for that employee to set up an office and get the proper equipment and everything so that that person will be able to go out and do.
So here's my next question is, when we need to send someone to get a hunting and fishing license or to sign up, we're not sending them to the tax commission anymore. We're sending them somewhere else.
He is currently officed with the AG downtown, so we still have all the information in our office, and we're still trying to help those people because a lot of them don't want to drive all the way downtown. So until they decide for sure where he's going to be housed out and everything, you can either send them to him. And I had planned on inviting him, or I did invite him to come with me to the Rules Committee on Thursday so that I could introduce him to you all so you would know who he is and where he's located and all of that. As far as the fax number and the 1-800 number and all of that, that will remain the same. And the
Okay.
email and all that, that's just been transferred to him.
Sounds good. If you would just give us the transition details.
Sure will.
All
I'll
right,
do that
thank you,
in
Sharon.
rules if that's okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Anything else for Sharon?
We just appreciate all that you have done to make
Thank
this
you.
transition real
Well,
good, and we know you will.
We don't
Still
mind-
may- we
don't
still
mind
may be
helping at
calling
all.
on you sometimes.
That's fine.
Okay.
Anytime. We don't mind helping. We actually had him to come and stay in our office for a couple of weeks so that we could help him and get the storefront up and going and help him to learn all of that, but he's doing a great job.
No further questions, we'll go back and,
I got a
oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Just-
Go ahead.
And I guess this was an administrative move, Sharon. It seemed to me like it would have made sense to keep it in your area and let you hire an extra personnel to do it. But then we're going to spend $104,000 to set up another office to do it.
Well, but what we were, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
But what I was
interrupt
going to
you.
get at is, we have some council members here that are wanting more money for people that needs emergency stuff, and then we're spending $104,000 out of tax travel money to
Right.
set up a whole new program when you've already run it for 2 years. or
Well,
it will be 2 years.
and I did, but in their defense and mine, I basically was redoing my imaging program, so I actually had the staff to throw at the program at that time, but now we've got that all up and running again, so I actually don't have the staff to continue to do that anymore. It just happened at the right time when I actually had the staff that we could do that with, because we were actually having some downtime because we were working on our imaging system, trying to get that migrated over. So it worked out at a good time to where that we could pick that up, get the ball rolling with it, and then got the major parts of that done, and then can let someone else step in and take it over.
And just a little bit more of what my thinking is, we've already spent a lot of money on hunting and fishing license, a lot of money. Now we're putting another $104,000 into that money again, which is tribal dollars. And we're, as a council member here, getting calls from constituents out there that need a refrigerator, need a pump fix and stuff like this, and I don't know if we're gonna get any increase in the thing. So that's my gripe. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sharon.
You know, I agree with Counselor Buzzard. We have trust in what you do, and I know we got another, we've added a little bit more bureaucracy to what we already have here. What happened to the staff that you did have? You said you had the staff at one time
No,
to implement this program.
Right, the staff, what it was my imaging staff, and we were migrating our program to a new one, so we weren't able to image at that time. So this actually came in at a good time. They were able to do that while we were waiting on the system to come up to where they could start back, but now they've started back to imaging again.
Okay, so
So-
they went back to a different.
Yes, they went back to their regular duties. They were just
Okay.
doing this temporary. That's what I meant to say was, it just happened at a good time where my staff had some downtime. We were able to pick it up and run with it, but now they've got their original jobs to go back. Couldn't run it either. I would have to have staff also to do it because all of these people have gone back to their regular duties.
Okay, because I'm like Council Buzzer, we're here, you know, trying to get all these needs met, and
Understand.
we're creating more bureaucracy.
Yes.
Okay. Comment. Sharon, again, what Councilman Buzzer said, it does make sense to have them at the tag offices, because we have tag offices in different parts of the 14-county jurisdiction, for them to go to those areas to get those hunting and fishing licenses. If we're going to house them out of Tahlequah only in the AG's office or wherever we're housing this at, they're going to have to drive all the way from Pawhuska or Miami, or where, you know, far distances to come to Tahlequah to get this license.
We were actually doing it all out of the Tahlequah office also. We didn't have it out in our sub-offices.
Oh, you did it?
So they can email their applications in, or these are all gonna automatically be generated. We've worked with registration. We get a report every week of the ones that are new citizens or have turned 16, and that report goes to Mr. Glory, and then he starts issuing those licenses, and then they are mailed out to them. So the only thing that a citizen has to bring in is that update form if their address has changed or they don't have the social security number or the driver's license number on there. And all that can be done via email or fax. So they don't actually have to drive here to get it.
Well, Secretary, with the convenience of our constituents and being scattered out outside of Tahlequah, it would be rational if we did house them out of these tag agencies for this hunting and fishing license. But those are my thoughts and my opinions. So
I don't think any of my constituents have had to drive anywhere to get theirs.
well,
So,
They should all be
I don't-
being mailed to them. I
and they
mean,
have been coming to the community meetings, which I understand they're going to continue to do.
it's just an idea.
Well, I appreciate it, Councilman, and I think as I heard Ms. Swepston say, we essentially were fortunate timing-wise that she had the staff to contribute to getting this off the ground. If she hadn't had the staff, then a year or so ago, we would have come to the council for this amount of money so we could execute this program, which we all support, which is the hunting and fishing license. It does cost money to administer this. We're fortunate that we didn't have to bear those expenses initially, thanks to the tax commission. But I think you'll find that it's seamless, and we're confident that we'll continue to serve the constituents with this approach, because I think it'll be seamless. It'll continue to be, by and large, by mail and email. We'll continue to have a presence out in your communities. So, but I think, we'll all keep an eye on it, make sure it is seamless.
Councilor Thornton, did you have something to add?
Yes, thinking the way parties thinks, and Joe and David. What gets me, is there any kind of federal aid out there that would run a program like this? Can we get any money from federal government? It seems like we just keep pulling discretionary funds out and adding to our budget. And I know in another year or two, and I won't be here, but there's liable to be one another person in there. So you gonna pull out, federal money, or are you going to go ahead and use discretionary funding to fill positions?
The chief's track record and his message that he preaches to all the departments is to look for federal or other grants first. And so we've got a grants department that the treasurer has that's very aggressive at finding here if there is one that could run the program. But I can tell you, our track record is that we go get those grants, and I think we've got a pretty successful track record where we're using more federal dollars or other grant funding than we are discretionary dollars. But it's a point well taken. We'll keep looking.
Thank you, sir.
All good with tax commission?
Good
Right.
report.
Thank you,
Thank
Sharon.
you.
Okay. I don't know if Gary thought I wouldn't start on time, or if he thought Diane Kelly would take longer than she did, but he's here now. Sir?
I'm one of those that thought Diane Kelly. I got it like that.
So we're gonna jump back up and let Gary tell us what's going on good at the.
Okay, I do apologize. I went back down to my office down on
okay.
the other side of town and on your break. Okay, Majority of our programs are programs that you have approved in the Indian Housing Plan, with the exception of, I think, just 2 small minor ones. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has. I think for the most part, we've already covered those in the Indian Housing Plan before.
We all good as far as housing goes? All right, thanks. Okay, the Election Commission's up next, and I know they've been here all day long.
Yeah, that's there.
Hi.
This year our budget is more than the FY16, and that's because of the 2017 election coming up. It is comparable to the FY13 budget because of the election size. There are a few things that do make this different than the FY13 salaries. We are now fully staffed with 5 people. Back then we just had 3. One of the things we've done for our precinct workers is increase their pay from $200 to $350 for the inspectors, and from $100 to $200 for all the other workers. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Have you
Counselor
guys moved
Walkenstick?
into your building? Or when's
Not
the
yet. We are told middle of September, and we are excited.
middle of September?
Yes.
That's a
If
nice
any of you guys
looking
want to
building.
come help us move too, we'll be happy to have you.
Stick it up.
Right here, the guy that asked the first question.
I pulled my
Think you
back,
pulled the straw.
pulled my hip out dancing there tonight.
Counselor Crittenden?
Hi, Brooke. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah. We've talked about this before. Not necessarily a community meeting, but in my neck of the woods, there were some people in the wrong district. So if I set up a meeting, not necessarily a community meeting, door prizes and stuff, but do you do that sort of thing where put it in the paper, hey, if you think you're in the wrong district or this or that?
Sure, just let us know when and we'll be there. We're happy to attend any meeting to correct any issues or get new voters. We're all about it. We've been scheduling a lot of voter outreaches. We're surprised how far the promotional items go. We used to not really have any, and registering people left and right, fixing issues and helping people out.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'll be
Yeah, just let us know. We'll be happy to come.
Do you have your whole board here with you?
We do have a few of the commissioners back here.
Would they stand?
Introduce themselves.
Bonnie? Okay, so Brooke, you want to introduce?
Yes. That's Connie Parnell, the Director of Election Services. Carolyn Allen, a commissioner of ours, and Pamela Sellers, another commissioner.
Thank you for being here today, ladies. Appreciate you. Okay, any more questions for Election Commission?
I got one question.
You already asked your one question.
We get one per person?
Yep.
Yeah, you got everybody, you got 17 on.
Well, I got, mine's really quick. Again, sorry.
Yeah, right.
That's some good tea, by the way. I noticed that in my election last summer, I had a lot of my voters were registered in Joe Bird's. Actually, they're registered in mine. And actually, no, I'll take that back. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They was registered in Joe's, but they live in mine, and they couldn't vote for me last summer. So the issue is have we cleaned the physical?
We've been going through that, and we've been cleaning up those address reference. If you have a voter that comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm supposed to be in your district," they can vote a challenge ballot.
Yeah.
They put their address that they were supposed to vote in. Ballot's just a scary word. It's a quick fix, and that fixes it for the long run.
Like my voters were leaving, said they wouldn't let us vote, and they didn't know what the process was, and they was heading out, and there was hundreds.
I think
like
a lot
hundreds.
of them think the challenge ballot that it's not going to get
And I was cussing Joe Bird while they were leaving.
Well, let me clarify that from count. A lot of the people that were, they were leaving. those
Unfortunately,
fish.
there's not much I can do about that.
It's like if I were to lose, like I was gonna protest this thing.
We've been doing for those details, especially the 07. We're really looking over all those. So if you come across a boater that's having, don't be angry because we want to help. We're letting them stay where they want to stay, even though they live somewhere else. Let us help them because that's what we enjoy to do. That's what
So
we've
is
been
that
trying
how
to do
you
the past
guys are
couple years.
identifying them? Is by their request, or are you guys actually
Well, we're
going out
actually
and
doing an
identifying
audit
yourself?
as well. But I mean, you can miss them in the audit. You never know if somebody, with rural routes, it's really hard. Because if we don't have their exact location, we don't know.
Are you guys working with geodata?
Yes, we work with Center of Spatial Analysis for the,
Not with geodata.
Not
it's,
geodata.
it's CSA.
Okay,
They're the official map makers for the state of Oklahoma.
gotcha.
So we have an avenue of a lot of wealth of information because they do the mapping, the wells,
Yeah. So
the state election board, everybody that's registered to vote. So they have a lot of information that we can pull from. What we found out was a lot of the addresses were not put in complete. They might have left off the street or the type or something and didn't let it populate. You can put an address in when you do their voter registration. It will populate and it will assign them to the correct district.
have you ran across a lot of those?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. So you
Not
A
put
lot in all
MT
three of
in
y'all.
there.
And we have done all the 14 county jurisdictions.
You didn't say that in the
I
beginning,
think you were
remember?
all about equal.
Now you're-
You all have
Yeah, you're
about
switching
equal
it,
number
yeah.
of people enrolled. Okay.
I was scared. I appreciate you guys taking care of that.
So we've gotten through the biggest part of it, and now what we're doing is we're working on people.
We're
who
back to
have
budget or what?
Yeah.
I apologize, rabbit trail. Thank you. Appreciate
Moving on
that.
to Counselor Buzzard.
Yes, we were talking a while ago, and we were wondering about, the chief reads off in his State of the Union address every month on deceased Cherokees. It could be from 10 to 30. Do you get that list?
We do. We receive that list from tribal registration.
Oh,
Every month we receive the deceased report from the previous month. And one of the other things we do as well, birthdays from, in our internal audit, we're doing 1950 and before, we're doing obituary checks on them. And we've been able to catch quite a few with that.
And I would take it that private registration does the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And before we let you go, I just want to say to you and the commissioners that are here and Connie, how much we do appreciate what you do. It's kind of a thankless job.
Thank you.
But anytime I've called or anybody that I know has called, they're always treated with respect, courtesy. They really do want to help, and I think it would be a tough job. So I just want to thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, Cherokee Publications. Tell us something good, Brandon.
What do you want to know? I'll tell you.
Something good. Counting on you.
Ask away. I got answers for you.
Okay, what do we got here?
Does anybody have any questions of our editor? Question.
Obviously, the budget numbers are a lot different. Not that big of a budget, but a whole bunch of difference. So I think I kind of understand why. But what's your plans to make sure that the Phoenix operates with that kind of a budget difference?
I mean, a big part of that money that was budgeted was the Cat 2 agreement, which those dollars were tied specifically to the Cat 2. So I mean,
Cat 2 means Citizens Access Transparency.
This guy knows.
So that was the chief's initiative to basically give everybody 1 year
Right.
to try to.
In August.
So how do you plan on keeping things going?
Well, I've actually got the subscriber numbers, current subscriber. We've actually did a push for people that were on that list to be able to subscribe. Everyone was on that list, should have gotten the flyer that gave them the information to send in their subscription. So hopefully they've already been rolling in for about the past month since those flyers started going out. So.
Has that created a substantial, the Cat 2, has that created a substantial amount of new subscribers?
I think these numbers aren't exact, but we just looking at the bundles, I think we've got about the past 2 weeks, 140, 150 subscriptions that just come in from that, which I know that's a very small number compared to the number on the Cat 2 list. But as time moves on, we expect those numbers to stay. Hopefully they stay the same and keep building.
What was the paid subscriptions a year ago, and then like
70,000. We had like roughly almost 11,000 paid subscriptions right now currently, and then the Cat 2 has around 70,000. So once those people are no longer getting the Phoenix, provided to them, hopefully they'll start to send in more information.
Okay. Sounds like it's a plan in the works.
Very much so.
Okay, do we have any other questions or comments for Brandon? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Okay, Indian Child Welfare. There she is. This looks like a flat budget, but do you have anything you want to tell us?
Not really. Answer any questions and.
I have a comment. Do we pretty much see eye to eye to NCAI on the issues when they take a stance that involves Indian child welfare? Do we stay in communication with that organization, or do they take their cues from us? Are you familiar with that organization?
I've heard that, which,
It's the National Congress of American Indians.
okay, is that the one usually out in California or?
They just rotate sites.
Okay.
Secretary might be able to help with that.
Dying to interject here.
Sure. We stay in touch with NCAI on those issues. I can't think of a Indian child welfare issue that we haven't been aligned with them on.
Okay. Because they're good advocates. I just want to know we stay in touch with each other. Okay.
The national organization that we stay in contact with constantly is the National Indian Child Welfare, NICWA is what we call it, but it's National Indian Child Welfare Association. So that's the one that we're kind of on board with all the time. So I'm sure they're very active with.
Okay. All right.
when
Thank
you
you
just
very
called.
much.
I
Thank you.
apologize, I didn't know that. So.
That's okay.
I haven't ever attended, so I didn't know.
That's okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, again, I want to express appreciation to your folks also. It is a touchy subject that you're on, and when we have people call us, you're always very good at handling it within the legal confines of it, and I appreciate that.
Okay, you bet. Thank you.
All right, our brand new department. Sarah has hit the ground running.
Last but not
You're the last one, but we've all been fed, so take your time.
I'm just glad to hear that. Thank you. I heard that I missed some discussion about the hunting and fishing office, so if there are other questions that you need me to field about that, I'll be happy to. This is my first opportunity to appear in this capacity in front of the budget committee hearings, so I just wanted to, the departments I oversee are administration support, which includes ethnobotany and geodata, environmental programs, which includes a lot of different things that they work on, and then the new hunting and fishing department that we're working on, as well as my own office, which has been set up this year. So Most of the budgets are flat, or there's a few with small increases and a few that are with decreases. That's usually grant funding. If you see a lot of decreases, we'll have to just wait. They roll in at different times during the year. So that's that's my office. That's what I've been doing, and working on. I'm happy to answer any questions about the budgets that you have.
I just have a comment. I really appreciate the plan that you're looking into on eventually taking care of the landfill issue that we had at the tribe for a year. So
Yeah,
I
landfill, I should
really
mention that.
appreciate you looking into that.
And that's one of the increases that you'll see. That's a new budget to you because the landfill was previously over into a corporation. And in that, I've asked for money to begin, as I told you, we're going to start, at the beginning with, we need to put together an engineering plan. And so that money is built into the landfill budget, that engineering money to begin putting together a comprehensive closure plan, which every landfill needs to know what is your end game and how are you going to close the older sections as you move forward in time so that when you get ready to close, you're closing it in the most efficient way you can. So with the money from this, in this fiscal year, we'll be able to take those first steps towards moving the landfill, what I think is in the direction that you want it to go in, really sustainable, controlled shutdown over a period of years.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Wanda.
What is your home to school study? What is that?
That's a partner, I don't know all the details of that. That's a partnership between the University of Tulsa and the Cherokee Nation. It's trying to help, I think, bring into schools like a better understanding of how food works, where your food comes from, maybe. I know it was a partnership with the University of Tulsa, but I'd have to pull in them directly to get to answer specific questions.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Warner.
Thank you. She's a Lawrence, she's a 7-star on some of that, and do they do the asthma checks in the home? Would that fall under that same category more than asthma?
It could. That's the one where they have all the vacuums for kids and doing the asthma tests.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
Okay.
help with the environmental factors that
Okay.
they associate with kids. That may be part of the same program. Tom could answer that probably better than me on the specifics.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Sarah.
That was surprisingly easy. Thank you.
Okay, so we have got a motion and a second to pass this budget. Any final comments?
Secretary.
Madam Chair, Mr. Speaker, so we have a revised Exhibit A that we'd like to pass out and ask that somebody make it friendly. It doesn't do anything different than anything we've talked about here. It just makes sure we have everything listed on the Exhibit A. So Kanan is passing that out now. And Karen, you might want to identify what's...
The only change, and gave the one copy I had, so I'll do this from memory, is the $10,000 change from the
To
World
the
Rogers
J.M.
Park
Davis
Rest-
Gun Museum.
Correct, the J.M. Davis.
And Madam Chair, Mr. Speaker, with that, if that is friendlied into the motion, then that reflects what we've done today.
First, Madam Chair, you got anything to add? I was going to make a comment.
I was just going to say, if there are any final questions for the treasurer, secretary of state, for our accountant, Jody Reese, now's the time to ask them.
Councilor Buzzer.
I've got a amendment that I'd like to make over in the Community Services Department. Is this the time to make those changes? What my proposal is on the roads budgets, on the motor fuels tax, also the motor vehicle tag, is to leave the 10% for the roads program, administer the program, at the end of the fiscal year, and divide it between the council members' districts for roads budget. Make that in the form of a motion to do that. Earlier, when I said moved up to 25%, and I got corrected, I understand what I was saying now. So I'm saying only the money that's left in the administrative budget votes.
Second.
Okay, so that would be a friendly, also, but is that a procedural change, or?
If I could just ask for some clarification, did I understand that Councilor Austin had made a friendly for this newest Exhibit A and that it was accepted by Counselor Vasquez and Counselor Warner. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Yes.
We did that, we're just now seeing it in black
Just
and
now.
white.
Okay,
So,
very good. Then
we're good on that.
So that one's done. Very good.
But my question is, and our legal counsel isn't here, and I don't see Todd either, so.
It sounds like it's offered as a friendly to change the motion. Warner would have to agree. If they do not agree, then it would be a vote to amend the motion. That's my view of it.
Okay, I agree.
Can I
Should
hear
this
from Jack real quick?
Should this be done whenever we have the carryover funds and are going to bring them forward at that time? Because
That would be a question for Jody or Lacey.
I mean, at this point, it could be perfectly wonderful idea, and it sounds like it is, but I don't know. I mean, I can't advise. I don't have enough information in front of me.
And my preference would be that we wait, since we don't have that number. Visit it then.
Jody, you have a recommendation?
It would require come forward with a carryover amount. I looked at as far as the compact, it does just say 20% for roads, and it doesn't break down the 95, or 90% and 10% as far as, so I don't see that it's a legal issue or anything, but that was one of the things that the AG was gonna look at, but I know, there is quite a bit of carryover building up in those funds, and I know Councilor Buzzard spoke to Michael Lynn about it, and I don't think he didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I think that was more of just, as far as the history was back when Councilor Buzzard was there, it was just a number that was came up with 90% for the actual construction, 10% for roads, for admin, so I think it would require a budget mod at the time of carryover, so I don't see that it's a technical issue that needs to be handled right now, but more of an information.
Counselor Buzzer, are you okay with that?
And that's okay. I'm okay with that, as long as we
do
remember
it.
to do that when the
and address
carryover
it.
comes forward.
But I support what you said. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want any money sitting around when we
No, I
have
agree.
people needing it, so I agree with it. Let me hear from Councilor Vasquez.
Well, can I still have the floor?
Okay, I'm sorry.
And another thing that I want to just bring to me, and I'm guilty of this too. When we get those dollars to spend, those dollars should be spent within a reasonable amount of time. Now, those dollars are for the people out there. And if I sit on those roads budgets for 2 and 3 years, we're not helping the people out any. So, and I understand some of the council members here like to hold their money in order to make a big project, but I don't know. I guess what I'm saying to us other council members, we need to spend that money to help our citizens as soon as we can. I know I don't let any grass grow under my money when I get the money because I don't spend it. And those commissioners, I know in my county, they need those dollars. But anyway, that's up to you individually. But I'm okay with holding that until the carryover comes to distribute those dollars out.
Councilor Vasquez,
I
did you
just
have
think
something
we
to add?
should wait, yeah. I
Okay.
think that's a good idea.
So we'll do that. Jody, would you put some type of note on your calendar or something like that? So we will not forget to do that and just let it sit there because I'm completely on board with it. I just don't know that right now is the time to do it.
And I will say this, Chairwoman, that there's no motor fuels tax carryover in this budget, but there is motor vehicle tax carryover in the highway budget. And so if we make this change now, it changes our cash reserve, which means we got to go back to the table on Exhibit A.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
We ready to vote on this budget? Could we do a roll call?
Frankie Hargis,
Yes.
Wanda Hatfield,
Yes.
Rex Jordan,
Yes.
Dick Lay,
Yes.
Curtis Snell,
Yes.
Janice Taylor,
Yes.
David Thornton,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
David Walkenstick,
Yes.
Brian Warner,
Yes.
Buell England,
Yes.
Keith Austin,
Yes.
Jack Baker,
yes.
Harley Buzzard,
Yes.
Joe Byrd,
Oh, wow.
Sean Crittenden,
Yes.
Don Garvin.
Yes.
17 yes and 0 no.
Very good, council. Okay.
Yeah, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, well, just a minute. Council Byrd has a comment.
Just to you and your staff for bringing this budget to us. Secretary, thank you for meeting with us previously, so we iron out some of the questions and taking care of the rehab issue and scholarship issue, and now we can address the roads issue here. Just thank you and your staff for doing an outstanding job.
Thank you. Councilor Vasquez?
Yes, I would just like to ask to be added as a sponsor.
Sure. Anybody else?
We're on. By acclamation.
Okay.
Thank
We
you.
good?
I'd make a motion to adjourn, Chairman.
Nobody else wants to? Yes. Fails for lack of a second. All right, we'll see you guys on Thursday.